Cheers, friends. Coffee cup of the day, Old Faithful. Brought to you by Corksicle Productions. How's everybody doing? I think I may just have sorted out my audio issues. It took me the better part of the last week, but I think I'm at the point now where it's at least serviceable. So, kind of doing this as a mock video. I kind of like to do run-throughs of my videos to see how they sound, see how they look. If this goes right, you're gonna see this posted. I'm at my wit's end. I'm not recording another video, so this is take one and only take one. So we are going to jump right in. Yeah. So welcome. I'm Jonathan still, and this is the last haul video that I will be doing for a while. It's the last of the collection of hauls that I've gotten over the past year. So, Old Faithful coffee cup of the day. What am I sampling? I am sampling a funny, now that I'm thinking about it, this is a roll-on of an attar, an oud attar, and I can't for the life of me think of where I got it. I don't know where I talked about it last, but I said that I didn't have Promise in my collection because I've smelled Promise several times in different areas of perfumery, and this being one of them. This is a close approximation of Promise. So, I mean, the collector in me wants to have Promise, but I don't know that I'll do that. Scent of the day. Kind of rainy and chilly here today, so I wanted to reach for one of those rainy day fragrances. Normally it's one of the Ancre Noirs, or maybe Guerlain's Vetiver, or even I'm finding that Hermes fragrances, now that I've gotten a few in my collection, seem to be nice chilly rainy day fragrances. But for some reason this one caught my eye, and I took the cap off of it, and it just hit me right. So this is my scent of the day. Crisia Moods Wommel. It's a great patchouli. I've heard arguments to both sides of that thought, but this is a really nice ambery, rich patchouli. Yeah, I like it. I like it a lot. Okay, so we're just going to rip through this. I'm not going to make this a long one. This is, we've got some goodies to go through, but a lot of these you know already, so I'm not going to waste too much time. And some of them I'll want to go over and give more thorough, in-depth thoughts on. So let's just start. We'll start with a couple that have always been on my list that I kind of always thought should be in the collection. For instance, this one. I wore this at the tail end of my high school years and just after, and this is Drakkar Noir. Don't need to say a lot about this one. This isn't a deep vintage either. This is luxury products. Still smells good. Doesn't seem like it has the same punch that I remember, but then again, that was 35 years ago. So, but I will eventually like to sort out a Cosmere version just to see that extra bit that's in there that's missing from the more modern versions. But that's a good rendition, that one there, luxury products. This one is a second from this house on the recommendation of my friend the Duck. And this is Loewe Essentia. This is a really nice fragrance. This house has some real quality. I don't think this is a deep vintage. I don't know if you can see that, but still very good. There's a couple of more from the house that I want to sort out. Seven, the 7 line. Some of those look really interesting. If anybody has any suggestions, or drop them in the comments. I'd love to hear your thoughts. Here's another one that I thought should be in the collection for sure. I had a bottle of this when I was younger, and just never picked up another one. But I'm happy to have this one back in the collection. And this is Safari by Ralph Lauren. Such a great bottle, one of the best bottles out there for old school designers. I still need to pick up. Man, it's really one of those fragrances that are just perfect. Just a perfect balance of everything. Um, I have a mini of the Warner or Cosmere version of the Polo, but I still need to pick up a bottle of that, as it was one of my first fragrances that I ever got when I was a kid. So I'll need that for reference as well. Um, okay, I showed this off in a stream a while back, but it was a part of these hauls, so I'll just flash it right quick. This is Louder for Men, and I put that dent in there myself. This is not the deepest of vintages, but it is an older bottle, and it's good enough for me. The gold caps are going for silly money, and as good as this one smells, I'm not sure how big a difference it would be. But I mean, I'm curious. I'm not gonna lie, I'm curious. But for now, I'm satisfied with that kind of mid-vintage. Um, in some cases, like for instance, this one. Um, I picked this up. This is another addition to my Hermes collection. I have the Eau de Cologne and the um, Eau de Orange Vert concentrate and Eau de Hermes. And now I've added Bellamy, and this is the modern. And this is very good. And Hermes takes care of the reforms, and the quality is high. However, I have sampled the shaker bottle and some of the older renditions of this, and one of those shaker bottles is going to end up in the collection. It is better. How much better? That's subjective, but I think it's better. It's richer. It's deeper. It's got more smoky facets to it. As good as this is, that shaker bottle is better. I don't care what anybody says. So in that case, I will sort out a vintage for sure. Here's a good example of vintage versus less vintage. This was kindly given to me by a friend in the community. I'm not sure he wants me to shout him out, but this was given along with one of the hauls I bought off of him. And this is the vintage concentrate Santos de Cartier. I don't know how well you can see that. But at the same time, and I kind of didn't even realize that I did this, but I ordered this one right at the same time. And this is a more recent version of Santos de Cartier concentrate. I don't know how young or old this one is. I know this one's a little bit older, but they're both solid as far as that argument, which gets tiring after a while. But as far as that older, newer, Cartier is another house that takes care of the reforms, and the only differences I'm finding here are not of quality or of materials, but just different facets that I found with the older one, and conversely, different facets I found with the newer ones, both appealing, but in different ways. I might have to give that a video. It might be an interesting talk, conversation. Okay, I have 4 from a house that I'm very fond of. 2 I have the boxes for, and 2 I don't. This one I pined after for some time, and my patience paid off. I got this for a very good price, and I couldn't be happier to add it to the collection. This is Journeyman by excuse me, by Amouage, and this is nice, peppery, sexy tobacco. This is a good fragrance. I'm too happy to add that to collection. One of the early ones from the house. I don't think the earliest. I think there were other releases before this, but this is one of the earlier ones. And this is jarringly good. It's a big fragrance. This is Goldman, and this isn't the deep vintage because although it's not, there's no writing on the side or the front. There is, however, writing on the collar, which indicates that this is a bit older, but it's got the magnetic cap, so I know it's not. No, it's not a deep vintage, but man, that opening is stunning, really stunning. This is the kind of fragrance that would wear you if you're not buckled up to wear it. Goldman, could not be happier. It's Amouage doing the 80s, and they do it very well. Okay, this is one that I kind of wrote off last year. I sampled it and the feminine version, and I clearly thought that the women's version was better. But I've since sampled and started to come around to Memoir Man. And I guess my thoughts at the time were that Memoir Man wasn't quite outstanding, wasn't quite unique, or didn't set itself too far apart from a few other things. But the more I sit with it, the more I'm starting to really enjoy it. I'm not upset about this pickup at all. Memoir is very nice. I think I still hold to my earlier thoughts of the women's version being better, as are some more than some of Amouage's women's versions. Like this one, for instance, I'll lean towards. I have the feminine version of this. Feminine version of this being Portrayal Woman, which I love. Big florals, really, really nice fragrance. And then I heard some really good things about this. Sorry about the lighting, just bouncing off this box. I've heard good things about this, and I heard Violet, and I thought I should have this. And now that I have it, I'm wondering why it took me so damn long. This is a freaking good fragrance. Sorry about the reflective, it's craziness. Big violet, big florals. This is a wonderful fragrance. It's slowly climbing the charts of my Amouage, nearing the top of them, and I have quite a few. Okay, so we're doing all right in time. We're kind of ripping right through. Got a couple of well, let's do this one first. This is another house that I'm very fond of, and this is from the house of Floris, London, and this is 1962. I think Pep maybe was the one that kind of beat the drum about this one, so it's always kind of been on the outside of my radar, and I got a good price for it. So I really like this house. Their packaging is kind of reserved and classy. There's nothing super duper about their bottles. They're just smart, just smart packaging. But their fragrances are freaking good, man. I have maybe 7 or 8 of them now, 9 maybe, and every one is quality. And this is really very nice. I might have to do an overview of the house. If you're not familiar with Floris, and I'm sure the majority of you are, but if you're not, don't overlook that house. They've got some goodies in there. Okay, this was recommended to me by. I've seen it around, but I never really gave it, too much thought. And then Ramsey kind of put it on my radar, so I picked it up, and this is Version Originale by Jean-Marc Zenon. And this is not only a good fragrance, but it's a very cool presentation. Really very cool. They really put a lot of attention to it. But the funny thing about this is that it's as cool as it looks. It's kind of jiggly, and it's plastic, and it's almost like, all right, we got a budget, but can we be creative? And they did it. Well done. the they really put a lot of attention into, like, I don't know if you can see it, but there's like some etchings on the shoulders there. Kind of nice, and the fragrance is really very nice. I wore this on my hand yesterday. I tested it yesterday, and I haven't familiarized myself with the notes or anything, but I just kept getting this maple syrup kind of a immortelle vibe off of it. That was the overriding thought I had all day yesterday. I'm gonna have to look, for those of you that like to see that stuff. Yeah, I'm gonna have to give it some more thought. I don't like to look at the note breakdown right away because I want to kind of build the idea of the fragrance in my head before I get corrupted by whatever Fragrantica or Parfumo says, which more often than not aren't very accurate. So kind of figure I'd like to get to know the fragrance before I even go anywhere and read anything about it. This one, even more obscure and unknown than that one. This is called DuPont Pour Homme by Richard DuPont. And I don't know why this caught my eye. I did a little reading on it. There's only a few. It's got one of these. This is great. I don't know if you'll be able to read this, but this is the directions on how to remove and put the cap back on in 5 different languages. Okay, somebody thought this was necessary, so here we go. To open, twist the cap and pull it up. Okay, all right. To close, reposition the cap, duly centered, and strike it down. Well played, Mr. DuPont. Well played. So I love those little inserts. Some of them have cool stuff. Some of them have like the whole range of bath products and different adverts. And I love this old stuff. If anybody wants to check out that stuff, there's no barcode on it. I've done a little bit of reading on it, and I'm seeing that it's 1980, possibly. Look at this bottle. The bottle looks like it hasn't ever been touched. It's in pristine condition. The juice is fantastic. You can tell there's a little age to it, but otherwise it's fully intact. This is really very nice. Again, I haven't looked at the note breakdown. I just did a little reading on articles on like base notes and Parfumo, and it's a splash. And it's got the same kind of late 70s, early 80s, like high society in New York kind of vibe. Like the one fragrance I have, the John Veit's cologne, and the other kind of obscure one, Mark Cross cologne that I got. That's kind of the same kind of dark, woody, real classy kind of vibe, boozy, herbal and spicy, very serious fragrance. I dig it. I couldn't be happier about this one. Okay, so we are down to the last couple, which is a good. We're doing good on time. We're ripping right through here. If this sounds good, you guys are going to see this video. I am done playing around with this audio. Okay, I have one of the flankers from this line, Aquamarine, and this one seems to take a lot of heat. But I love the redheaded stepchild flanker that nobody likes, nobody's heard of, or doesn't get a lot of love. And I was always curious about this. If people don't like this, I probably will. And I do. I was really pleasantly surprised. I'm not sure what the hate is. It's not the most natural smelling fragrance, but it's kind of a you know, it's a little synthetic, I'll give it that. But it's kind of like a sweet designer dirty orange, like a Dollar General version of like Terre de Mez, but a little darker, a little richer. I think this is good. I don't know why people shit on that fragrance. That's a pretty good fragrance. And yeah, so there it is, Bulgari. Not all of my fragrances that I buy are like, weird vintages or, bougie stuff. Okay, coffee, yes. Excuse me while I caffeinate. Okay, last two. This one I got for my birthday. I want to say my birthday. Yeah, I'm pretty sure it's my birthday. This is from the house of Byron Parfums, and this is Black Dragon. And this is a pretty good fragrance. I sampled this last year, and ended up getting it as a birthday present. I want to say birthday present. Great presentation too. Wild presentation. Great bottle. I don't know a lot about this house. It's kind of got this gradient. I don't know how well you can see that, but the bottle's super heavy. Cap is heavy. Now, vanilla is not, I wouldn't say my go-to, and see this cap, it's like, really nice. I wouldn't say vanilla is my go-to note in perfumery, but this one does it pretty well. It's kind of like an incensey, peppery vanilla, and really nice, really sexy kind of date night fragrance. You don't want to think too much, or you don't want to wear anything challenging. This is really nice. This is really freaking nice. I couldn't be happier to have it. I think I'll be able to get it on. Well done. Okay, last but certainly not least, I have recently discovered that there are a few Middle Eastern houses out there that need more looking into, and this is one of them. I've got a couple from Ajmal that I was impressed with. I have one from my last video. I think I talked about Ibrahim al-Qureshi. Yeah, Ibrahim al-Qureshi. And some of these houses, let me tell you what, they put a lot into their packaging. This one is from a company called Attar Collection. And this is Kaltat Night. Now, I got turned on to this. I think I sampled the red one and the green one. I won't be able to remember the name. I apologize. But I was really impressed with those. The red one's kind of a cinnamon fragrance. And then I went down the rabbit hole and did a little research, and this one looked like it would be my jam, and it certainly is. A super heavy bottle, like super heavy cap. They obviously go that extra step. It's like a wooden cap, and it's got like this textured like velour or something. I don't know what it is, but it's not just their packaging. Some of the houses out there are kind of just fancy for the sake of being fancy, and don't put a lot of effort or money into the juice. But this is very good. This is a very good fragrance. I'm gonna have to talk about this a little bit more. It's a sexy fragrance, not terribly far away from the Black Dragon. That like incensey sweet vanilla, not sweet. This one's a little less sweet than that one, but some of these houses are doing big things, and I'm a big fan of presentations, but not if the juice doesn't match. But some of these houses, like the ones I mentioned, and like this one, Attar Collection, some of these houses are starting to gain traction, in my opinion, and eventually you're not going to be able to deny them. You're not going to be able to, not talk about them, because they're putting out some good fragrances. They are, there's the Armafs and the there's other jackass fragrances, like, fragrance houses out there that are just putting out $20 fragrances. But some of these houses are starting to, like, really get hard not to pay attention to. So yeah, I don't know where I was going with that thought, but all right. Well, that's the end of the haul series. I want to thank you all for all the love, the kind comments, the interesting suggestions. If there's anything you can teach me, like I always say, let me know in the comments. If there's any suggestions you can make off of what you saw here, I really enjoy the interaction in the comments, and so from now on, I'll start getting into some more individual reviews. Maybe start talking about some of these deep vintages, like the obscure stuff that there's not a lot of talk or not a lot of information on YouTube or elsewhere, and yeah, just start creating a little something on this channel besides just flashing bottles. But I do appreciate all the love. Y'all have a great night. Peace.